Hey Crochet Crew, and welcome back to our mystery original character creation series. So where we left off is that we have a head, very plain and simple. We're now going to crochet a couple of rows without any increases, so I think this is 12 stitches. Yep, 12 stitches in total. We're going to count, so I'm going to want to crochet 2 rows without increases, so we're going to crochet 24 stitches. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, do you know what? I think we're just going to do 1 row. I think 2 rows would make an abnormally long neck. 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we're going to stop there. We're going to start increasing now to give her shoulders and a body. Give me just a sec. Right, so to start our increases, we are going to crochet 1 and then increase in the second stitch and repeat that 6 times. So here we go. We crochet 1 and we'll end up with 18 stitches at the end of our row, by the way. And I like to count as I go around, so here we go. So 1, and then we increase 2 and 3, and then just single crochet, that's 4, and then an increase 5 and 6, and then just a single crochet 7, and an increase 8 and 9, 10, and an increase 11, 12, 13, and an increase 14, 15, 16, and an increase 17, 18. Okay, so we've got 18 stitches now, and we're going to do another row of increases. This time it's going to be 2 single crochets and then an increase, which will leave us with 24 stitches at the end of the row. And again, I'm going to count. So 1, 2, and an increase, 3, 4, 5, 6, and an increase. Oh, if I can get my hook in. 7 and 8, 9, 10, and an increase 11, 12, 13, 14, and an increase 15, 16, and 17, 18, and an increase 19, 20, 21, 22, and an increase, 23 and 24. There we go. All right, we're going to work, I think we're going to work 2, maybe 3 more increase rows, but we'll see how we get on. We'll see how big it is after 2. All right, so for this increase, we're going to crochet 3 and then an increase. So we'll have 30 stitches by the end of the round. And again, I'm going to count. So 1, 2, 3, and an increase, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, and an increase, 9 and 10, 11, 12, 13, and an increase, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and an increase, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and an increase, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and an increase, 29, and 30. So our next increase round is 1, 2, 3, so 4 single crochets, sorry, I've got an itch, 4 single crochets and then an increase. So at the end of the round we'll have 36 stitches, and once again I'm going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and an increase, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and an increase, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and an increase, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and an increase, 23, 24, and 25, 26, 27, 28, and an increase, 29 and 30. Okay, and for our last round of increases, we're going to single crochet 5 and then an increase, and we should have 42 stitches at the end of our round. And again, I'm going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an increase, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and an increase, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and an increase, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and an increase, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and an increase, 34, 35, oh sorry, that was an increase, 34 and 35 was an increase run. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, and an increase, 41, and 42. Right. Okay, so that is the increases done. We're now going to crochet 5 rows. Yeah, let's start with 5. Start with 5 rows, just plain single crochet, 42 stitches around. So I'm going to work those 5 rows, and once I'm done, I will be back. Right, so we've now done 5 rows. Oh, sorry, I'm not sponsored by Pepsi, but I should be. So we've now done our 5 rows of single crochets, and this is where we're at. We're now going to start doing some decreases, but we're not going to do decreases every row. It may be every second or third row, depending on how it looks, but I'm working this out as we go. I have a certain look in mind for it. I want this to fit in the palm of my hand. Well, not in the palm of my hand, so I want it to be about that big at the bottom. So I'm thinking every second row for the decreases, but like I said, we shall see. So our first decrease is going to be 5 single rope crochets and then a decrease, which is going to be crocheting 2 stitches together. I'm going to count them as we go. We'll have 36 stitches at the end of the row, so let's go. You're going to start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a decrease, which is 2 together like that. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and a decrease like that, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and a decrease, so like that, bear with me. So that was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and a decrease like that, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and a decrease like that is 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and a decrease, 36. So that is our first row of decreases. So after our first row of decreases, we are going to crochet, I think, 1 row of single crochets. So that's 36 stitches around, and I'll do that with you, but I am going to count. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, oh, didn't get that, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, oh, I didn't get it, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. There we go. So that was a single crochet round after a decrease round. So I think we're going to do 1 row of single crochets in between our decrease rounds. If you hadn't noticed, I like to count each row. It's the way that I ensure accuracy with my amigurumi figures. Not everyone does this, and it might be annoying, and I apologize if it is annoying, but it is how I make sure that my figures are accurate. Okay, so we're now going to work a second decrease round, which means we're going to work 4 single crochets and then a decrease, and we're going to repeat that 6 times, and that means we're going to have 30 stitches at the end of this decrease round. So I'm going to count. Let's go. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease like that is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and a decrease like that is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and a decrease is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and a decrease is 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and a decrease is 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 29, and a decrease is 30. Okay, we're now going to, we're now going to work another row of single crochets, and I'm going to count for 30 stitches. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 29, and 30. Okie dokie. So this is where we're at. Okay, I think we're going to do another row of single crochets before the next decrease, because otherwise she's going to be a little stumpy. Okay, so another row of 30, here we go. I won't count out loud this time. That's 5. That's 10. $15. That's 20. $25. And that's 30. Yeah, that was the right move. Okay, so we're going to work our next decrease row. So this row is, let's see, crochet 3 and then a decrease of crocheting 2 together. And then we repeat that 6 times for a total of 24 stitches at the end of the row. And of course, I'm going to count. So 1, 2, 3, and a decrease, 4, 5, 6, 7, and decrease, why has this got green in it? 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Somehow plied into my beige yarn, I had some like emerald green. This little emerald green bit of fibre was spun into my yarn, and I don't want that. Anyway, so we are at 8 stitches. Let's go 9, 10, 11, oops, that's 12 with a decrease, 13, 14, 15, 16, That is 16 with a decrease. 17, 18, 19, and 20 with a decrease. 21, 22, 23, and 24 with the decrease. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. Okay, I'm going to work 2 rows of single crochets around those 24 stitches, but I'm almost sure none of you want to hear me count, so I'm going to do that off camera and I'll be right back. So there we are, that is where she's at the moment. I keep saying she, that kind of gives it away, it's a female character. Sorry, having a sip of my drink. We're now going to work another decrease row. So this time we're going to end up with 18 stitches, and we're going to work 2 single crochets and then a decrease, and I will count out loud again. So 1, 2, and decrease is 3, 4, 5, and a decrease is 6, 7, 8, and a decrease is 9, 10, 11, and a decrease is 12, 13, 14, and a decrease is 15, 16, 17, oh no, 17, and a decrease is 18. Okay, I'm going to start stuffing her now, so bear with me just a second, grab the stuffing. Okay, so we've got some stuffing, take her off the hook, let me just pull that out a bit. Okay, let's start filling her up. I'm going to do this off camera and I will be right back. Right, so I have stuffed her. She's very tightly stuffed, but that is so once I have done the final decreases, we can squish her around and get the stuffing into the right place. So the last decreases are all going to be one after the other. Yeah, so no crochet rows in between. So we are currently at 18 stitches. So our next decrease row is going to be 1 single crochet and then a decrease for 12 stitches at the end of our row. So here we go. 1 and a decrease for 2, 3, and a decrease for 4, 5, and a decrease for 6, 7, decrease for 8, oh, 9, and a decrease for 10, 11, and a decrease for 12. There we go, 12 stitches at the bottom there. That is where we started at the top here, so that is pretty good going. So now we're going to do a row of straight decreases. So there we go, and we should have 6 stitches at the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and last one, for 6. Right, I'm going to snip my yarn. I'm going to give it quite a long tail. Okay, and we're going to just pull that through. Okay, I'm going to grab a tapestry needle, bear with me. Okay, this isn't quite a tapestry needle, but it will work, hopefully. Let's get that through the eye there. All right, and now we're just going to stitch around the stitches. There we go, to close the hole. We'll go around that one last time, and now we're going to sew the tail away. There we go, tail has been sewn away. And just push the stuffing around a bit so we get everything in the right place. And there we have the body of our character. And this has been part 2 of the Mystery Original Character series. I will be following up with part 3, where we're going to make some clothing, and then part 4 will be the final touches. Oh, you'll see, it's going to be great. If you're enjoying the series, please press all the buttons, like, share, follow, etc. And join us for part 3, where we will be continuing on with the bits for this character. Thank you very much for joining me, and happy crocheting.